Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today, quality meets quantity as MbL, playing as the Persians in red, prepares to take on Hera, playing as the Goths in blue. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their Quigglebird explorables, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad opportunity for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Persians are an economic powerhouse with a tech tree that is incredibly strong and diverse. In addition to getting access to every single economic upgrade available in the game, I will repeat that, every single economic upgrade available in the game. They do start every single matchup with 50 extra food and 50 extra wood. Their town centers work progressively faster right off the bat, starting in Dark Age. 5% faster, pumping out those villagers right now, up to 20% faster in Imperial. And they can be a pain in the butt to raid because their town centers come with twice the normal amount of HP. Take a look, 4,800 compared to the usual 2,400, and their castles can be upgraded to not only take less bonus damage, but also to fire more powerful bullets instead of arrows, which come with attack bonuses against both rams and infantry, which might be a little bad news bears here for our Goth in blue. Now, using their economic advantages, the Persians do focus heavily on their cavalry. Their Nightline units come with an extra attack against archers, and using every single upgrade available in both the stables and the blacksmith, the Persians can field not one, but two unique cavalry units. The first needs absolutely no introduction. It is the most powerful unit in the game, the War Elephant. Comes with a ridiculous attack and amount of HP, does trample damage, but is also both super expensive and still, even after being buffed a little bit, on the whole, kind of slow. Now, their second, the Savar, is a heavy cavalry unit that replaces the Persian Paladin and comes with a decent additional attack bonus against archers. I believe that is an extra +2 against archers. Now, to support their cavalry, Persian archers and crossbows can be upgraded to turn them into trash units that basically cost 60 wood each, no gold at all. Or, if you want to be more mobile with your archer units, well, then the Persians do get Parthian tactics an age earlier in the Castle Age. Looks like MbL doing a decent job pushing this one deer under the canopy. Perfect actual push of that deer. Speaking of hunters and deer and all that good stuff, it looks like Hera's having a bit of trouble with his deer. Man, are the deer wily on this map. Let's take a look at the Goths, about as single-minded as a civilization can be in Age of Empires by pushing their players towards one military building alone, the barracks. This structure starts the game working 20% faster than normal and can be upgraded to work more than 200% faster, which is great for the Goths because in Imperial Age, they get 10 extra population space to pump out more units, capping out at 210 versus the usual 200. All Goth infantry get progressively cheaper as the game goes on until Imperial, when they're discounted by a ridiculous 35% on the whole. And that's not just food, that's not just gold, it is 35% across the board of all resources. And their infantry also, if that's still not enough for you, come with a progressive attack bonus against buildings, which makes them pretty damn good at taking down castles. And oh my goodness, why am I struggling to say late game structures? I don't know. You know why I'm struggling to say late game structures? Because I'm about to say I really want to see citadels, castles with an attack bonus against infantry taking on Gothic infantry with an attack bonus against castles, and basically any other structure. So my mind already went there while I'm discussing something completely different. And when that happens, the word salad, the jumble, just comes out. Now, the Gothic barracks itself can be upgraded to train the unique unit of the Goths, the Huskarl. This is a decent infantry unit with one very important set of skills, including pushing deer here. And that set of skills is very Liam Neeson-like. It is to find, to locate, and to kill archers. Now, Huskarls come with a pretty damn big attack bonus against archers and base pierce armor that makes them basically immune from almost all archer fire in the game. Oh no, Hera might lose a deer here if MbL decides to engage in any kind of shenanigans. It looks like he will. Oh, that's so sour. Just move a little bit more, Hera. Hera deciding to take the fight here instead of to push that last deer. Although, oh, look at that, timing it quite well. It's going to veer off a little bit to the right, but not the end of the world. HP on the scout 30 to 30. So both have taken an equal amount of damage. MbL has discovered where his opponent is as Hera pulls the last of his deer. Now, one thing I will say about the Goths, as I mentioned, hunting to support their big old population. Gothic hunters not only are stronger, meaning they attack the animals that they're hunting a lot stronger. I believe +5 attack. They also carry more, and their hunt lasts 20% longer. And by the way, the Goths, no excuse not to research Loom, as MbL already has, because researching Loom is instantaneous, basically in just under a second, whereas for everyone else, it is the full 25 seconds that is needed. So basically, you research Loom and you pump out a villager. Villagers do take the exact same amount of time to train as Loom takes to research. And those are the two civilizations we've got before us. Quality in the Persians and massive quantity in the Goths. I mean, there is no comparison, I think, to any other civilization. I mean, the developers did try with more modern civilizations, the Incas. We saw the Gujaras the other day with Kshatriyas, but there really is no comparable discount on a flat 35% Imperial Age. You're paying a third less for your units, your infantry units. Your barracks can work 3 times faster than normal, 200, I believe, in 19 or 220% faster than normal, which is 3 times. So if you, for example, if you have 5 Gothic barracks, that is the equivalent for every other civilization in the game having 16 barracks. That's how fast your output capacity is when you are going full tilt in Imperial Age with perfusion and, oh man, even anarchy to train those Huskarls out of the barracks. But enough fanboying over these two civilizations, which I've been fanboying over since 1999. These are two OG civilizations from Age of Kings. Let's take a look at the bases, as Hera's units are chasing this expeditionary force from MbL. They brought a pet jaguar along for the ride. Oh no, you are pet no longer. That one spearman Hera noticed was about to die to the jaguar, and so he turns and quadruple bangs him. I don't know what the exact term is for a 4v1, but in any event, let's take a look at our Gothic base. Primary gold, very secure to the back. Primary stone off to the side, not really on the attack path, unless MbL decides to go north instead of through the center, if MbL is in fact the one who is attacking. Decent forest, very nicely sized, but secondary gold, secondary stone off campus, tertiary gold, nice and secure here to the back as well, although nothing to the back, no extra forests, no coverage, nothing, which is potentially very bad news bears, like I said, for our Goth. Hera's going to be fighting an uphill battle, and not just because he just went uphill on this little hill here. I think the Persians are just, on the whole, a lot more of a versatile civ in this matchup, and so I think the name of the game here for our Goth needs to be get map control, and get map control ASAP. Get your butt up to Castle Age. Get those infantry units a-spamming at a nice 30% discount in Castle Age. By the way, still no kills, which might be a good time for us to very quickly take a look at the Persian base. Primary gold to the front, primary stone to the back. Also 3 decent-sized forests. MbL's already walled his entire area off, it looks like. Oh, do not use straggler trees. Hera knows this trick. He fell for it himself against the Viper. So I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the best move there. Okay. MbL circling. Where are his additional resources? He's got some extra stone very forward and exposed. Additional gold off campus. Additional gold to the back. MbL has a little bit of a small forest to the rear. He's got a relic as well. And he has already walled the south, the center, and now the north. Okay, so he realizes that this is a straggler tree, and so he can't really make use of it. Oh, I've already missed kills. Oh god. It looks like 1 kill apiece while I was looking. This is why I was trying to rush through the location of those resources. But you know, when you rush, a good thing, bad things happen. And that's it. That's all she wrote for MbL's attacking force. It looks like he lost a couple of skirmishers here as well. We'll have seen that in picture. Kill count 8-1 in favor of our Goth, and MbL has just been firmly smacked and slapped. He got real aggressive in Hera's face, and Hera literally just smacked him down. 8 kills to 1, and MbL discovers the last leaky plug in the bucket. Leaky hole in the bucket, and he plugs it up, is what I meant to say. As Hera now moves forward, he's been here before. He's going to see the wall off. He's going to see one of literally everything, which doesn't really tell him very much against the Persians. The archery range, the stable, the barracks. Is there any secondary military building? Not at all. And it looks like MbL, and actually both MbL and Hera, are going to rush up to Castle Age MbL is going to probably hit it first as he is clicking up right now. Hera still needs 100 food, 100 gold, but he'll get it very, very soon. I'm not expecting any kind of major delay here in going up to the next stage. Our Goth, by the way, does have the secondary structures of a archery range and a blacksmith. And so any second now, there we go. So about 40 seconds or so behind his opponent. Not the end of the world. Blacksmith going up for our Persian, who has carved, I'm trying to look at the mini-map, about a sixth or a seventh of the map, if I had to guess. And he is not done. He is moving forward with even more skirmishers. Skirmishers should do a decent job. They are almost all fully healthy, whereas Hera has a few that are kind of at half health. Scout's not really going to do very much with 13 HP. Spearman is definitely not going to do... These 4 spearmen are definitely not going to do anything against skirmishers, which come with a, I believe, a small attack bonus against them. Yeah, +3. And not that small in Feudal Age, I guess. 3 out of 45 is a good, what, 7% of their HP or so? You know, Hera, okay, does not want to deal with any more Persian aggression, and so it walls off the northeast of his base. But the Persian aggro is here. He sees the flag up, doesn't know exactly what's in there. Will it be a skirmisher, or was it originally intended to be an archer? And our Goth is getting bloodlines. Okay, he's got 4 scouts now. So he sees the skirmisher play, and he knows the best way to deal with this is to get all up in their grill, take away their ability to attack, because they do have a minimum range, much like a Scorpion or Siege unit, for example. Minimum range of 1, so if you can get up face to face with these skirmishers, they will not be able to attack you at all. So far, though, it is actually Hera who's taking a bunch of damage, although he pops out 5 fresh skirmishers. Now MbL's on the run. Both players are in Castle Age. Elite skirmisher for our Persian. Forging just completing for these scouts for our Goth. And with the camel here, that is all she wrote for Hera's little army. And another camel to the left. Another camel streaming across the minimap. I had to pause there to make sure that was a camel. I didn't want to keep screwing up, you know? And so I didn't want to say another camel, then, oh no, look at that, it's a skirmisher. Second town center for our Goth. He believes he is going to be able to hold on against the Persian camel skirmisher army, and he's probably not wrong. When it comes to destroying buildings and busting into a base, these are probably the last 2 units you want in early Castle Age. One comes with a ridiculously low attack of a base of a 3, which is going to do nothing against a house, for example, with pierce armor of a 9. And another comes with a ridiculously low attack of a 6 against the now finally positive melee armor. Houses in Dark Age and in Feudal Age have negative melee armor, which makes taking them down pretty good, pretty quick. Hera is catching out some reinforcements here. Has added a Gothic Knight, but I'm not too sure about adding Gothic Knights. And in Castle Age, nothing wrong with the Gothic Knight, to be fair. It's really Imperial that they're missing the last armor upgrade. And also, I believe, no Paladins for the Goths. Although, technically, I guess no Paladins for the Persians as well, right? After they introduced the Savar. But I'm not too sure that a Knight is really going to be... and it die. I mean, it's dead. So, no real point in continuing to talk about it. A third town center going for our Persian behind this. He's now ahead 7 villagers with those quicker working Persian TCs. They're now, I believe, working, pumping out villagers and technologies 15% faster than normal. And MbL for the second time has to retreat here as camels are a little out of position. Like I said, I think in this matchup, Hera needs to take map control immediately. Now, it's great for him. He doesn't know this, but we know this with our God's Eye caster view, that MbL has no stone for any kind of across the map shenanigans. I don't see any siege workshops being placed, any castle drops, any tower pushes at all, which is great for Hera. Because like I said, Hera needs to establish map control, and he needs to establish map control very early, as soon as he possibly can. Otherwise, the Persians... I really don't like the term civ win, just because I don't think there is such a thing. Except maybe in... I mean, somebody knows the math. How many possible iterations are there with 45 civilizations? What's the mathematical expression? 45 exclamation point? 45 times 44 times 43. Or is it plus, sorry, 40, 45 plus 44 plus 33, 43 plus 42. So I don't know what all that adds up to, but there are maybe 5 or 6 Civ win where I'll be like, you know what, that's fine, Civ win. This is very much approaching a Civ win, I think. Because anything the Goths can do, the Persians can do better. And they can counter them with those ridiculous, like I said, citadel castles, which, oh no, 7 villagers on stone for MbL, 9 for Hera. And when all else fails, hell man, get that war elephant out. But civilizations, like weapons, are just tools. You know? A hammer is just a hammer. It's like one of those strongman competitions where the people saw logs and not a strongman. I forget what the name of those competitions are, where it's like you have to chop down a tree. Whoever chops the tree down the fastest, or whoever saws through a log with a 2-man saw the quickest, wins that particular event. The civilization is just a tool in your hand. It's how you really use it that dictates whether or not you win. You can give the best player in the world the worst civ, and the worst player in the world the best civ, if there is such a thing. And believe me, the best player in the world is still going to win. And so I really... not too sure where I'm going with this train of thought. The point is, I think Hera needs to get map control, and he is turtling up. To be fair, though, so is our Persian, who is trying to drop off 2 relics, loses two monks instead. Ouch. Now, the good news for him is that the other relic is here. Where the hell are you going? MbL confusing his army with his monk count for a second, as he now takes a second. We'll get a 3rd relic. And remember, he does have the 4th. I love that he... has he even actually seen it? No, I was going to say, I love that he left the one closest to home to take last. Taking the riskier ones out on the map, but he hasn't actually seen this relic. He will now, though. Oh, he's going to see it any second now, right as 2 castles go up. Decent location for both. One very defensive. Would have loved maybe to see it on the higher ground here. And this is definitely a King of the Hill castle. Look at that. Seeing the entire plain around it. And oh, yeah. MbL knows exactly what civilization he's playing against. He knows how quickly those Gothic infantry units can shred. He doesn't know about the castle, though. Can shred through any kind of defensive structures, any wall-offs, any castles, anything. And so an immediate secondary wall-off beginning here. I absolutely love it. And both players sitting at basically identical villager counts. MbL at 93, Hera at 90. Both heading up to Imperial. Again, it's going to be MbL who hits it first. This time about 1 minute and 15 seconds ahead of his opponent, which means he might be able to get out a Treb if he catches wind of this castle before going up. Hera is definitely going to catch wind of this castle as he sees the scaffolding here. Ooh, we'll lose 3 spearmen. Not the end of the world for this discovery. Pretty worth it. Oh, and he sees cav archers. Interesting. Okay. So MbL's going... MbL is, I really don't know what MbL is doing right now. If I had to predict his army composition in the next 5 to 10 minutes, you couldn't, I couldn't tell you what it is. He's got some cav archers, he's got camels and skirmishers, and he's adding more archery ranges. Is he playing reactive? Has he actually, okay, finally has seen the castle. He's got a couple of camels trawling here on the right side of the map. It looks like he's gotten that relic, so he's going to be ahead. 4 relics to 1. I said 4 relics to 1. Bruh. Hello. Kevin O'Leary. 4 relics to 1. Another town center for our Persian, as another attempted run by here by Hera. And there is anarchy for our Goths, so he's going to be able to train Huskarls out of his barracks. Speaking of, let's see how many barracks he's going to have. 8 barracks in 18 seconds. I'm hoping we get to see the golden crown of perfusion, which means those 8 barracks work, what? The same output as 26. 8 barracks work about as good as 26 barracks. Isn't that bonkers? You have, for example, the Franks with chivalry, which is, I think, a 40% increase to their output capacity or their production speed of their stable. But there is nothing in this game like perfusion. Like I said, as much as other civs and newer civilizations try to mimic the Goth, there is really only one civilization that takes the gold prize for spammability in this game, and in my opinion is very much the Goths. And the Goths also converting a couple of cav archers here, or I guess just one. But 4 cav archers for seeing the Huskarls is not a bad idea. There's what the archery rangers were for, as hand cannoneers are starting to come out. Okay. And citadels as well. Oh, this is getting worse and worse for Hera. Hand cannoneers and citadels. The only thing I'll say is that I'm hoping Hera's micro game and his castle falls as well, and a very aggressive. Oh, this is the last thing you want as the Persians. As the Goths, I mean. I told Hera, you need map control, and instead he has given map control to his opponent, who, by the way, now has bullets instead of arrows. But in comes the Huskar. This is what I'm talking about. Hera's going to need an amazing micro. If he can close on the hand cannoneers, technically hand cannoneers are archers, and so the Huskarls do come with attack bonuses against them. But now you've got Citadel castles. I believe ballistics still does apply to Citadel's castles, even though they fire bullets instead of arrows. And I don't know who came out on top in that battle. It looks like MbL lost the forward position of the castle, which strategically is a massive loss. He lost the Treb as well. Hera lost a bunch of Huskarls, who in Imperial Age are 35% cheaper. Now MbL is going to run in with a couple of camels. Okay. The Huskarl in Imperial Age, by the way, you want to hear the price of a Huskarl? I have it written down. Are you ready? 52 food, 26 gold. I'll repeat that. 52 gold, 52 food, 26 gold. 26 gold! And he's already got 24 going up to 26. Hera's expanding out onto the map. Should have done this. Oh, geez. What was the point of that? Oh, the point of that was, to, I guess, to kill one archer, oh my goodness, one villager. I don't know why I'm calling things wrong so much this game. My brain is just so on fire with the possibilities. And like I said, Hera's going to need an incredible micro. Because if he doesn't micro, the hand cannoneers, which now are going to be 33 in number, are going to shred his Huskarls. These are as awesome as they are against archers with a +6. I believe that jumps up to a +10 in 20 seconds with elite. As awesome as that is, it still needs to close against these units. And if it doesn't, here we go. We're going to get to see very much a clinic here of how to absolutely wreck infantry with hand cannoneers, which come within a +10 attack bonus. Hera sees the castle. He knows he's got no choice but to engage into it. He does not want it breathing down his neck. Unfortunately, like I said, the Huskarl is a little bit of a slower infantry unit. And Hera loses another army here. Kill count's not too dissimilar. It looks like that. Actually, it looks like that one villager kill here has been the only villager kill of the game so far. Oh, never mind. Hera responds. Or rather, MbL responds and gets his own villager kill as well. And we've got war elephants. War elephants are out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And not one, but two. And this is going to be amazing. Trample damage is a half tile radius. Not too sure where this waddly boy is waddling. Perhaps trying to chase down some villagers. Now we see some Huskarls. Gets all excited. I'm going to highlight all the units, even though it makes it harder to see. Look at how much damage this one elephant is doing to so many units. Will it even get a single unit kill? No. Yeah, it actually looks like he did, but how much damage did these Huskarls take from one freaking elephant? Talk about quality versus quantity, and he comes in for round number 2. The elephant before he dies, no kills again, but again, a whole bunch of HP taken down, and now these hand cannoneers are going to have a field day. But again, if the Huskarl can close, the attack bonus is now, I believe, like I said, +10 against archers, and hand cannoneers technically do have archer armor. So the name of the game here is micro for both. Hera gonna have to close in as well as he can with as many surviving Huskarls as he can, whereas MbL is gonna want to kite back as amazingly as he can. And so far so good for MbL, who takes a bit of a loss in terms of hand cannoneer numbers, but wipes out yet another legion of Huskarls. More and more are falling. He's getting hoardings as well for his castles. And the chunky boy parade is not stopping. More and more of them. Man, what do you do? Hera is now just streaming units across the castle fire. And with ballistics, these bullets are two-shotting the freaking Huskarls. I see a villager in there. I mean, look at this one elephant. One elephant does ultimately die, but again takes out a whole bunch of Huskarls with him, and looks like another attack here to the south. Both players are just losing so many units, but it looks like our Huskarl army composition is just dying very quickly, and Hera's still streaming his Huskarls across bullet fire and losing maybe what, 1 out of every 5, 1 out of every 4 of these Huskarls. But he guns down the castle. Unfortunately for him, there's 4 more behind it. What is this, by the way? Okay, one is mining stone peacefully, one is mining gold peacefully. And as cheap as the Huskarls are, Hera is just running out of gold, it seems like. He's got 60 gold. He's only training 5 Huskarls now, 2 Huskarls at a time, which is the last thing you want out of 7 barracks. Not operating at full capacity. Where are you guys going? You're trying to some fancy maneuver. Forget the elephant, or maybe go after the elephant, or you're going to lose your trebs. Hera carves his army, a few Huskarls chasing the elephant. It'll be a long time before they take this guy down. There's 2 more behind him. And another slaughter. Wow, what a bloody game. This game was very quiet for the first 15 minutes. Then it was the usual Feudal Age early castle shenanigans. And now it's just absolutely erupted into an absolute gothic bloodbath. And holy moly, what a ridiculously fun game. This is what I was talking about, Hera not having any resources to the rear of his base. That was kind of sour. He has to take the wood from underneath MbL's very nose. MbL, even though he walled this part in, why didn't he wall behind the house? Which Hera, by the way, sees. So kudos on the wall up, but question mark as to why not this one. A bit of a farming community here. 4 relics, it looks like, at the end of the game to 0, even though for the majority of the game was 1. But wow, Hera going full on Huskarl, does not have any ability to counter the elephants. He's got 1 spearman from a time long gone. War elephant plus 15, cavalry plus 15, so 30 damage, bonus damage to a war elephant that has both the war elephant and cavalry armor. And Hera's center is just cracked open, and this is the last unit you want. I mean, ballista elephants are super cool, Hussite wagons are rad, but this is the OG mobile house, mobile battering ram that just absolutely destroys anything and everything in its path with that ridiculous attack. By the way, they're not even elite. Elite, the attack jumps up to 20 base, and the HP jumps up to 600 base, and 620 with bloodlines. Is that insane? 600 HP on a unit. But on the whole, Hera played defensively, MbL played offensively, took control of the center, has control of the stone, which is what he really wanted, and pumping out elephants non-stop. Elephant production 1. You don't need 30 of these guys. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't want to see 30 war elephants? Go play Deathmatch or Michi or Amazon Tunnel if you want to see that. But 4 is enough, even though one of them looks like he's about to die. Actually, maybe not. There's nothing here to attack him except this one reinforcing Huskarl. And what an absolute late game bloodbath here. We're almost at 44-44. That would have been cool. 3 more seconds. But Hera decides to tap out. There's nothing he can do. His center's been breached. And he just, how many, 5-6 times tried to close in on the hand cannoneers and absolutely had his army destroyed. Let's take a look at the numbers. 97 hand cannoneers, 226 Huskarls, and then the rest is just noise. A couple of monks, a couple of skirmishers, and this is mostly early game stuff. Peak APM for MbL just now, peak APM for Hera in the beginning of the game. Let's take a look at the economies. Okay. So the Persian economy about 9,000 or so ahead, which is about 15% bigger. Relics playing a decent role, pretty much paying for the war elephants in terms of the gold count. Goth has more food. Everything else is going to our Persian. No big surprise there. 4 conversions out of 240 is less than 2%, not the end of the world. And raising's also 22 to 1. That's what I don't need. What is the one that... Oh, it's that... Right, it's that one castle that the Trebs destroyed. That was the only building that Hera destroyed this entire game. And did he ultimately get perfusion? There's citadels. There is anarchy. I don't see a gold crown with a blue box around it. So he did not get perfusion. Streaming his units across Castle Fire was a questionable move. But like I said, this was always an uphill battle for our Goth. Quality versus quantity. You need to use quantity a specific way, just as you need to use quality a specific way. Like I said, these Sims are just basically tools in the hands of these warriors who are just absolutely killing each other for our delight, and who can complain about that. But I think maybe Hera would have been better served taking the center and trying to control the center, even though he did manage to get the only neutral gold out on the map. I don't think there was any other gold except for maybe this one? And the Cav Archer saw that early on. How many castles did our Persian have? 5 castles. So Hera did a good job getting the resources out on the map, but unfortunately map control went to our Persian. And when you're busting into an infantry base with war elephants and hand cannoneers, one has an attack bonus and one does, as we saw, ridiculous trample damage. That one elephant went down hard. It did not die without a fight. And it injured, what, 8 or 9 Huskarls in the process? That is just ridiculous. And even though they swarmed them like termites swarming a piece of wood, or yours truly swarming a buffet station, ultimately the Goth just couldn't withstand the pressure. His center has been knocked down, his castle's next. And even though he's building barracks, I would have loved to see perfusion out of Hera, but unfortunately perfusion is not the cheapest of upgrades. I think it still does cost 600 gold, I think. 500 or 600 gold for perfusion. And when you're training Huskarls and you've got just a little bit of gold left here outside of the map, out on the map, 600 gold may not necessarily be in your top priority. And just build more barracks for an extra, a little bit extra wood, even though this is very bad for Hera. We saw with no resources to the rear of his base, he had to expand, but he could have expanded here and here. Our Persian would not have noticed. Is this a second blacksmith? Okay. In any event, it is what it is, and it is our Persian who cracks the Gothic egg right in the center. And with the cracked egg, the barracks on the left are dissociated from the barracks and the castle on the right. In any event, Hera has enough gold to train 10 Huskarls, and 10 Huskarls are not going to do they're going to do very little against the elephants. He lost his Treb. Even though he did get the castle, you best believe with even more villagers on stone, MbL is going to plop down another castle. And by the way, Hera sees this with his monk, with his outpost. He knows that his opponent is focusing on stone for a reason, and he realizes that he just has nothing back home. This is a completely open base, and hand cannoneers and war elephants, slow as they are, will eventually get to all of those nooks and crannies. So Hera decides to tap out, lives to fight another day. And it is MbL, our Persian in red, who is victorious, but GG in a very bloody late game battle to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.